Are you having a hard time figuring out what to get Dad for Father's Day? Shop now at sportshistorynetwork.com/row1 and save 15% off your order when you check out Row 1 Brand's Vintage Sports Pictorium Gallery. They have America's best sports art. With over 7,200 historic sports prints, you're assured to find something unique for Dad this Father's Day. If he's an NFL buff, check out the 1963 vintage NFL helmet poster. Shop now at sportshistorynetwork.com/row1.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Yesterday's Sports on the Sports History Network. Today, we will continue to discuss our best NFL playoff games of the 1970s. Last week, we went through the first game and the second game. Today, we will start with the third best, in my opinion, the third best playoff game of the 1970s that took place on December 21st, 1974 at Oakland Alameda County Coliseum between the Oakland Raiders and the Miami Dolphins. Nat Moore got the game off on the right foot for the Dolphins, returning the opening kickoff 89 yards for a touchdown. Oakland tied the score in the second quarter when NFL MVP Ken Stabler connected with Charlie Smith on a 31-yard touchdown pass. But Miami retook the lead before halftime on a 33-yard field goal. The Raiders took their first lead of the game with a touchdown on their opening drive of the third quarter. But Miami came right back with a touchdown of its own. A blocked extra point made the score 16-14 in favor of the Dolphins. A 46-yard field goal by Garo Yepremian at the start of the fourth quarter increased the Dolphins' lead to 19-14. Later in the quarter, Oakland took the lead 21-19 when Stabler and receiver Cliff Branch, who was the NFL receiving yardage leader, hooked up for a 72-yard touchdown. After a 68-yard, four-play drive, Miami retook the lead that ended in a 23-yard touchdown run by Benny Malone. With just 2 minutes left in the game, Oakland drove the ball from their own 32-yard line to the Dolphins' 8-yard line. The play of the game came next. Dolphins defensive end Vern Dan Herter was dragging down Stabler from behind, but the Snake was able to slither away to throw a desperation pass to running back Clarence Davis, who fought his way through three Miami defenders to make the catch and then hold on for a touchdown. That winning touchdown will become known as the Sea of Hands. Stabler completed 20 of 30 passes for 294 yards and 4 touchdowns that day. Only one interception. Fred Biletnikoff caught 8 passes for 122 yards and a touchdown. Now we will go to game number 4, which took place on December 23rd, 1972 at Three Rivers Stadium between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Oakland Raiders. A lot has been written and documented about this game, and a lot of videos have been shown, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, but the defense dominated as the teams went into the locker room, tied 0-0 at halftime. Pittsburgh took a 3-0 lead when Roy Jarella kicked an 18-yard field goal early in the third quarter, and the Steelers increased the gap to 6-0 in the fourth quarter. That's when the Raiders' offense came to life with an 80-yard drive take a 7-6 lead with just 1 minute and 13 seconds left on the clock. With just 22 seconds left on the clock and facing 4th and 10 on their 40-yard line, Franco Harris scored the controversial winning touchdown on what will be known forever as the Immaculate Reception. Now we will go to game number 5. This game took place on December 27, 1975 at Metropolitan Stadium between the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings took a 7-0 lead into the locker room, courtesy of a rookie mistake. Offensive lineman Pat Donovan tried but couldn't recover a punted ball that he thought had touched his teammate Cliff Harris. The Vikings recovered the flub on the Dallas 4-yard line and punched it in for a touchdown a few plays later. The first sustained drive didn't occur until early in the third quarter, when the Cowboys evened things up at 7-7. Dallas took a 10-7 lead before Minnesota responded with their only good offensive drive of the game, a 70-yard, 11-play drive that ended with a touchdown. The Cowboys' next possession resulted in a punt, and Minnesota took over with just 3 minutes and 12 seconds left on the clock, hoping to run out the clock. But the Doomsday defense rose to the occasion, forcing a punt, and Dallas took possession on their 15-yard line with 1 minute and 51 seconds left. Keeping the drive alive after converting a 4th and 16 at midfield, Dallas decided to go for it all on 2nd and 10 with 24 seconds and no timeouts. Roger Staubach hurled a long pass to Drew Pearson, who caught the ball on his hip at the 4-yard line and ran into the end zone for a 50-yard touchdown. The play stood even after the Vikings argued that Pearson pushed off and should have been flagged for offensive interference. Staubach, a devout Catholic, said he threw the ball as he recited the Hail Mary prayer. The play became known as the Hail Mary Pass. Staubach finished the game 17 of 29 for 246 yards and that last-second touchdown, while the Doomsday defense limited the Vikings to a total of just 215 yards. Okay, next week we will continue with games number 6 and 7. Until then, hope you enjoyed it, and God bless.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
We here at the Sports History Network proudly partner with 26 podcasts, all revolving around the history of sports. But did you know that many of our hosts were sports history authors way before they started their shows? It's true. We've got Joe Ziemba, host of When Football Was Football, Joe Zagurski, host of Pro Football in the 1970s, Mark Morthier, host of Yesterday's Sports, Tommy Phillips, host of Lombardi Memories, and Scott Adamson, co-host of From the 55-Yard Line. All these authors have many books for you to choose from. To check them out, go to our website at sportshistorynetwork.com/sportshistorybooks. Pick up your copy today. Soundtrack provided by Kevin MacLeod of filmmusic.io.